the first corner, we have the freedom-fighting, justice-seeking Scottish period piece from 1995, Braveheart! And in the next, we have the justice-seeking, freedom-fighting Scottish period piece from 1995, Rob Roy! Let the movie fights begin!
Nope.
What?
Nope, you can't do that. See, you can't call it movie fights. Movie fights already exists on the Screen Junkies channel. So...
Wait, you're saying Screen Junkies has this show where they take two very similar films, compare them together, and see which one's better?
No. Their show is actually just a bunch of nerds sitting around arguing about movies. Yours is just one nerd. It's different. Yeah. Okay. You wanna play the video then?
So, in 1995, there wasn't one, but two freedom-fighting, justice-seeking Scottish period pieces that graced the screen. The one was Braveheart. And was met with a lot of success, acclaim, praise. It won multiple awards. It has gone down in history as one of the great epics. The other, Rob Roy, not so fortunate. It has all but been forgotten. I mean, I didn't know this film existed until one of my subscribers brought it up in my I Just Watched Braveheart video. Also, link in the description if you want to watch that video. And so when he brought it to my attention and I realized that these were very similar movies coming out at almost the same time in the same year, just a couple months apart from each other, I knew I had to check out Rob Roy. So I've seen Braveheart now, I've seen Rob Roy. We're now going to compare these two films and see which one deserved the success and which one should have been forgotten about. Let's get into it. Round one. Best Hero. Let's start with William Wallace. William Wallace is interesting in the way that the story is structured. The way that the story is structured, he doesn't want to fight. Evil government kills his wife. Once that happens, then he goes on a murderous rampage. It feels more like a revenge story. He's wanting to get revenge on what they did to her, what they did to him. The film kind of follows that train of thought after Wallace being betrayed by his fellow Scotsmen going on a murderous rampage against them. It makes it seem almost more that he's doing this out of revenge and hatred rather than doing it out of a sense of respect and honor, which is unfortunate because I don't think that that's what the filmmakers were trying to go for. Rob Roy, he has his sense of honor, and he knows how far to take things. He knows that killing his cows and burning down his house isn't something worthy of death. And so he's not going to go kill them until he finds out that they also violated his wife. Then that elevates it. There's more of a sense of honor with Rob Roy than with William Wallace. With that being said, Mel Gibson portrays Wallace very well. He is enjoyable on the screen to watch. I would say even more than Liam Neeson as Rob Roy. But I'm gonna give this one to Rob Roy because of the whole morality thing being called into question. It's up in the air, but this round goes to Rob Roy. Round two. A hero's nothing without the villain. This is the best villain. Alright, so Braveheart's villain, is good. I don't even remember his name, unfortunately. He's not extremely memorable, but he's good, he's fine. He serves the plot very well for what he's supposed to do. He's a menacing, threatening, powerful character, and he propels the story forward in the way he needs to, and serves the film very well for it. But Rob Roy's villains, they get under your skin. Archibald is this type of villain that just crawls up under your skin and you just hate the guy. And you can't wait. You can't wait until you see the justice paid back against him. It's kind of the difference between, let's say, Lucius Malfoy from Harry Potter and Dolores Umbridge, right? Malfoy is a great villain, and he serves the purpose just fine. He's a powerful, noble wizard, and he serves the plots and the story fine. But Dolores Umbridge just sticks out. Like, she gets under your skin and is just one of the most standout villains of the whole Harry Potter franchise. It's very similar comparing these two. Braveheart has a fine villain, but Archibald and Rob Roy is next level. One of the top villains, really, in cinema. I'm gonna have to give this one to Rob Roy. Not really even a contest on this one. Round number 3. The supporting cast and characters. Yes, that's right. Supporting cast, supporting characters, round 3. Here we go. Bing, bing, bing. So let's start off with Braveheart. And again, nothing against Braveheart, but the supporting characters are fine. They serve the point very well. But Braveheart is full of a bunch of different supporting characters. And so many characters, right? That they don't always get a whole lot of screen time. Case in point, William Wallace's best friend, if you watch one of the battle scenes, you see him get cut down, and yet when the battle is over, he's just fine. That's the way the movie kind of handles their supporting cast. Is they're there to help tell the story, but they're not like overly important. You can kind of forget about them in the shuffle of things. It's very easy to do. Rob Roy has a much smaller cast, and thus they get a lot more time to shine. I found Mary, Rob Roy's wife, to be a particularly interesting character. So while Braveheart has many different supporting casts, and they work fine, Rob Roy keeps it small and is able to give them more time to shine, which ultimately I think is the better option. This point goes to Rob Roy. Round 4. Best Visuals. Film is a visual medium, and you must have the visuals to back it up. So which film has the better visuals? Braveheart is one of those films you don't really see anymore. It's an epic, on an epic scale, that if done today is going to have to be done mostly with CGI to help cut costs. It's one that you just don't see that big and grand of scale much anymore. It's gorgeous to look at and breathtaking to watch. Rob Roy is a very average, visually speaking. Don't get me wrong, it has some pretty good visuals and set pieces, and it serves the story just fine, but there's nothing that stands out. It's this type of visuals that you would actually kind of see today, because it's a smaller story, you don't have as big and lavish of set pieces, except for maybe 1 or 2, and yeah, it's something that you could do fairly easy practically, even today. Whereas Braveheart, it's just on another level. I mean, the grandness and scale of the Braveheart movie is just, it's breathtaking. This point, hands down, goes to Braveheart. Ding, 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 ding. And here we are in round 5, Best Story. The characters are nothing if not used to tell a good story. The visuals are nothing if not used to tell a good story. So which of these two films has the better story? Braveheart is interesting. It's a 3-hour-long movie. It's a long movie. There's no denying that, but it moves, pacing-wise, very, very quickly. And as such, you are quickly drawn into the story, and you don't have much time to think or breathe as it propels you along in its narrative. It's just a fascinating film to watch. Now, with that being said, I do think there are some story elements that just don't quite line up, and there's certain beats that I wish they would have hit a little bit harder, a little bit softer, but overall, it's a very compelling narrative and very enjoyable to watch. Rob Roy, on the other hand, is very slow and methodical. It's only 2 hours long, but I'm gonna say it feels longer than Braveheart. It's very slow and methodical in its opening, but it does it in such a way that it draws you in to these characters and to this story very slowly, but you really get it. You really care about these characters and their troubles and their struggles. The story structure itself is one that moves slowly and gets bigger and more grand as it goes, and before you know it, you're really sucked in. It's just two really completely different ways to tell a story. We're all gonna have our differences of opinion of which is the better way to tell the story, but I'm gonna give this one to Rob Roy because I do enjoy the slow, methodical build-up of its story, and then just the way it completely draws you and sucks you in by the end, that you're totally invested in these characters. So, round 5 goes to Rob Roy. So if you've been keeping track of the points, you've probably noticed Rob Roy wins this thing pretty handedly. I mean, it is by far, in my opinion, the better movie between, Braveheart, Rob Roy. It's Rob Roy. It's the better movie. So why does Braveheart get all the success and acclaim? Why does it get remembered while Rob Roy almost gets forgotten about? Well, I have a couple of theories to this, but it's hard to tell. My first theory is the title. I mean, let's face it, Rob Roy is not an interesting title at all, and title is huge. Do you think Braveheart would have done as well if it was called William Wallace? No, and in fact, Mel Gibson knew this. That's why he called it Braveheart, even though William Wallace wasn't known as Braveheart. It was the guy who, in the film, backstabbed him and betrayed William Wallace, but he knew Braveheart was a captivating title. Title is so important. And I think it's one of the major factors of why Rob Roy is all but forgotten about nowadays. The second thing, I think the visuals do play a huge part. Braveheart is an epic film that you don't get to see a whole lot. And it is awe-inspiring to watch those visuals unfold before you. While Rob Roy is good, a really, really, really solid movie, but on a scale we've seen before, numerous times over. I think that also, has something to do with it. You marvel at the technical achievements of Braveheart as you're watching it. You don't get to do that as much with Rob Roy. And I think the third reason is the story. Braveheart keeps it very, very surface level, while Rob Roy draws you into the plights of these characters and really gets you emotionally invested. Now, there are multiple different ways to watch movies and films, and there are multiple different ways to enjoy them. Some people don't want to get so emotionally invested in these characters. They would enjoy a much more surface level film. And Braveheart is that. It is something that if you don't want to watch a film that's going to hang over your head for, a day or two, something that's going to really stick with you, if you want to watch a film just to kind of turn off your brain and enjoy a film for a little while, Braveheart's a perfect choice, really. Rob Roy is a film that's gonna stick with you. Rob Roy is a film that's going to speak to you. But that makes it more niche, in a way. And sure, Rob Roy, I think, is technically a better film in almost every way from Braveheart. In its characters, and its story it tells, and the way it tells the story. But that doesn't mean that it's as rewatchable as Braveheart, or as enjoyed by the masses as Braveheart. So, while both films are freedom-fighting, justice-seeking Scottish period pieces from 1995, they're also two completely different films. And, as such, not everyone is going to look at them the same way. My personal favorite is Rob Roy. I think it's better in every way. But you might enjoy Braveheart better. And that's fine. That's what's so great about cinema, is that it's art. And not everything is so black and white of what's good and bad. We can enjoy what we like in cinema. That's awesome. So, that's about it for this video. Guys, let me know, which do you think is the better movie? Is it Braveheart or is it Rob Roy? Did I get this one right or did I completely fail? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you would, please leave a like. Super helps out this channel. And yes, consider subscribing if you enjoy this, this content. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.